Hi, and welcome to the Loud Reset, my personal podcast sharing my thoughts and opinions and conversations about all the things I like to talk about. So tonight I have my guest again with me is my husband Rich. We're excited to be doing this on a cold Friday night, and we're glad that you guys are joining us. Tonight we're going to talk about concerts, but before we get into that, we're just going to bring up to speed on our life because we just got back from a really great cruise. Compliments of the awesome company that I work for. They reward their team when they do really well. So going on vacation on someone else's dime is always a little bit more exciting than your own. But we went on a cruise to the Caribbean and we hit up Nassau, which we had been to before. We've been on about, I think, like 7 or 8 cruises now. Great spot, just kind of hung around town. And then we went to Jamaica, which is amazing. We hadn't been there before. And we actually went golfing at this beautiful course right on the ocean. It was quite the experience and ate, really authentic local Jamaican food. It was an awesome day. And then our last stop was the Grand Cayman, which we had not been to yet after all these years. And we were really looking forward to that. So we did some snorkeling, ate some food, ate lots of food. Slept a lot and got to just relax. So back to Ohio in the cold reality. It was freezing when we got back, and Mr. Richard here celebrated his 43rd birthday yesterday. Yeah. So happy birthday, darling. Cheers to another trip around the sun. And then last night, driving home from said birthday dinner, my car decided to take a shit on us and started smoking and overheating and doing, what cars like to do. So it sat overnight in a parking lot, and Nana came to the rescue and picked us up. We got home, and I, took some PTO today to deal with all of that. So, you good over there?
I am. We're good.
Okay, we're good.
We're good.
Dealing with the rental car situation, insurance, and warranties, and towing, and all that. So everything's put. I've got a rental for the week. Car is in the shop. They can do their thing, and hopefully the warranty is going to cover what's wrong with it, and we'll just be able to get back into my car. So we're back to reality. So that's fun. But yeah, good to be home. Traveling is always great. We love going places, but nothing beats home. Of course, we miss Layla so much when we're not traveling with her, and Tinker, of course, too. It's hard to be away from those two, but glad to be home. Back to reality. So, we are going to talk about concerts because live music is a very big part of our life and our relationship. We really, really enjoy seeing artists and bands and groups and individual people and just the vibe of a concert inside, outside. It's something we've kind of always enjoyed together as a couple and separately as our own independent person. So this one, we had to bring out the spreadsheet and we had to take notes and put some thought into this. So we hope you enjoy tonight. A couple years ago, what'd you say it said, 2003? No.
2003 is more than a couple years
2023.
23.
We sat down over a couple evenings and made a spreadsheet of all the bands, artists, and things that we have seen over the years, whether Rich has seen them by himself or I've seen them by myself or we've seen them together. I am sure there are so many we have missed because this is just literally jogging our memories of the last, we're going on 26 years together now, so a long time together. I'm sure we've missed things. And then, a lot of small local artists and things that, community theaters and things like that. We would never even think to put those in, but those are definitely included as well. So I know we're missing a lot, but this should be a fun discussion. And I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. So comment on bands you love. If you hear one that you like or that you've seen or feedback you have, I'd love to get your feedback on the page. So please share your feedback. But I am going to go to the spreadsheet for this. I kind of have a structure for tonight. I'm going to go through the list, just going to read them off, let you know who's seen that band, concert, whatever, if it's been both of us together or by ourselves. And then we have some thoughtful questions we've put together on just some things to talk about.
That's a lot of people.
I know it's a lot of people, but we're going to put it out there of everything we've seen. So, okay. To start with, from our list, we have seen 187 bands, artists, musicians, whatever you want to call it. So, hop down for a ride because I'm just going to read through the list. And this will go quick.
Better.
Okay. This is
so much
in,
more time.
I know. This list is in no particular order. This was literally just us trying to figure it out and jotting it down in a spreadsheet. So we have Buck Cherry, Cold, Monster Magnet, Oleander, Professional Murder Music.
There's some festivals, all right?
So yeah, there's a lot of Blitzfest, Ozfest, not early 90s, early 2000s. So there's gonna be a lot of random obscure things that no one's ever heard of. Saliva, Stained, Stereo Mud, Systematic, Pressure 45. And I do remember when we were making some of these lists, we were Googling, like we knew we went to like Blitzfest in 2001. So we knew that we'd seen all those. So it wasn't like we couldn't remember all these obscure ones. We actually, dug in and did some research on these as well. Pressure 45. So that was all Blitzfest 2001. Then we have Ozfest in 2001. We went to a lot of Ozfest one. Beautiful Creatures, Slaves on Dope, Hatebreed, which Rich has seen Hatebreed 3 times now, and I've seen them twice. We did try to note how many times we've seen some bands. Spine Shank.
Good band.
Drowning Pool. Love some Drowning Pool. Nonpoint. Taproot. Black Label Society, which Rich has seen
Too many.
5 times.
Probably more at festivals.
I've seen them twice. Crazy Town, Butterfly, if you know what I'm talking about.
One hit wonder.
Yeah, that's it. That's a hit though. Like that is a hit. I love that.
They
song.
opened with that.
Did they?
And that was
and that was it. Yeah.
It's really bad.
Disturbed, they're great. Linkin Park, R.I.P. Chester Bennington, one of the greatest. That one was really hard for me. That death was very hard for me. Papa Roach, Slipknot, Marilyn Manson. And this was 2001. So
You didn't see him yet. You saw him later on. I saw that with John Harchie.
Okay, when I saw him, I saw things that shocked me to my core, and I'm still processing that. So that's maybe another podcast, but he's an entertainer. He is an entertainer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Black Sabbath, Chevelle, amazing. We saw them one year. We were like 2nd row or 3rd row to die for, but you go deaf. Lost Prophets, OTEP, which did they just fall off the face of the earth?
Most of these bands did.
Yeah, true. Oh, Andrew W.K. Man, you saw him twice.
Festival.
Yeah.
Not by choice.
Yeah,
But entertaining. But
yeah.
not good.
Il Nino, Flaw, Soil, Meshuggah.
They're good. Swedish band.
Okay.
They're still around.
Okay. Down, Edema, POD, love them. Rob Zombie, amazing. System of a Down, amazing. Rich has seen them twice. Rich has seen them 3 times. I've seen them twice. I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Chimeria?
Yeah, close enough.
Okay. Sworn Energy, Killswitch Engage, love them. Nothing Face, Twisted Method, Shadows Fall, Void Bod. Voivod.
Jason Newsted played with them that concert from Metallica.
Okay, that's cool. Korn, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rich has seen Korn 7 times, and I've seen Korn 5 times. And these are not just festivals. You'll learn, I don't know what your list looks like, but these guys are in my top. Korn is one of my top favorite rock bands and top favorite lives, but we'll get into that more. They're amazing. Ozzy Osbourne, All That Remains, Norma Jean, Unearth, Atreyu, Dragon Force, Lacuna Coil, which don't they have a female lead singer? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Nope, they do.
Yeah, she's dope. She's amazing.
They're really good.
Avenged Sevenfold, Metallica, which again, that's another one that Rich has seen. This looks like 9 times. Most of them, yeah, we might be. Most of them are not festivals, and a lot of those are traveling and back-to-back shows and weekends, all of that. So that's, yeah, I've seen them myself 5 times, so that's pretty awesome. 311, again, that's a great band. I talk a lot about them. Taylor Swift,
I was not that.
You wish you were.
No.
Pearl Jam, also amazing. Aerosmith, Elton John, twice, both of us, also one of the greatest.
3 times.
3 times. Eric Clapton, Kiss, Styx, REO Speedwagon, Eddie Money, which I feel like that was one show. Styx, REO, and Eddie.
I've seen them separate. Eddie
Yeah.
Money wore bowling shoes.
He did wear bowling shoes.
Yep.
And that was at Polaris Amphitheater. That was a
Amazing.
fun show.
Yep.
Matt Mason, one of my favorites. Chumbawamba.
Ashland University.
I didn't go to that one.
That was yeah.
You did a little tub thumping.
We did a little tub thumping. Got removed for moshing. So I was a little early high school, junior high.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they didn't like the moshing, but
Yeah.
we got to see tub thumping and left.
At Ashland University.
Yeah, big time.
Man.
Big time.
Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And
That was not me.
no, this was me. And I have to say this because this is probably one of my oldest memories of music. This, and my family will correct me if I'm wrong, I saw them at, it had to have been like the Ogden City Fair or whatever our county when I was very little living in Ogden. We saw them at a fair, you know, Fishing in the Dark, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. I can remember being there. The smells, I can see them on the stage. I can see the venue still. I'll have to try to figure out with my parents how old I actually was. But one of my most fond memories, and I love that band. Every time that song comes on, I turn it up, I sing it. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, legends in their own right. Charlie XCX, Camila Cabello, which I'm pretty sure this was opening for Taylor Swift, is who that was.
I have no idea.
Yeah. 21 Pilots, Gym Class Heroes, they are a lot of fun. They opened for 311. They were a hype band like that. You had a lot of fun listening to them play. Evanescence, that woman blew me away. Like when we saw them together, you had already seen them once. If you can ever see Evanescence live, this woman will...
Amy Lee.
Oh my God. She captivates you. Like, it's enchanting to watch her sing, and she's just utterly gorgeous. But the way she belts out those notes in front of all those people, it's something of magic, I swear to God. I get emotional at concerts. I'm very into it, but she's amazing.
You get emotional and everything.
I do. Jack Johnson, awesome. Judah and the Lion, I love them. Rich isn't a huge fan, but he sucked it up and went with me to a show.
They were good for an hour and a half.
They were. I know, I get it, but I love their music. Alice in Chains, Angels and Airwaves, which, if you don't know them, that's...
Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, Tom DeLonge from Blink-182. It's one of his bands. Really great band. Their music's awesome. Give them a listen. Zach Brown Band. I think that's the one. So it was in Columbus, so we go to this concert, and I'm pretty sure you parked where we weren't allowed to park.
Parked at a Lowe's. You're not allowed to park there.
And walked over. The whole concert, I could barely enjoy myself because I'm like, the car's going to be towed. And we're not going to get home, and it's going to be a big to-do.
It's all good. I went in and bought an item, so it looked like I was a customer, which I was, and parked in Lowe's.
The car did not get towed. And
it was
we got
free,
home, but
also. Free parking.
yeah. I don't recommend doing that because it's very stressful. But it was a great show.
Yeah, it's good.
Chicken Fried. Flora Cash, I like them a lot as well. Foo Fighters, big theme for me tonight. They're one of my favorites. Sugar Ray, I saw them in high school with my best friend at the time, Jenny. It was so much fun. Her mom and aunt took us, and it was just a blast. Guns N' Roses, I think a couple times. The first time was rough. Axl was rough.
Well, you didn't have Slash, so
Yeah,
we saw him
it
with
was Buckethead, wasn't it?
with the OG. Yeah, Buckethead.
Yeah, no, it didn't do it for me.
No.
No, he was looking about 1 foot in the grave at that point. Mammoth, which is that?
It's Wolfgang Van Halen, so
Yes.
it's Eddie's son.
Yes.
Great band.
Yes, I don't know where I saw him, but I've seen him as well.
Guns N' Roses, and they opened for Metallica.
That's right. Yeah, he's great. He's great. Justin Timberlake.
I did not see him.
Yeah. Maroon 5. Mudvayne. Deftones. Limp Bizkit, which this was at the Summer Sanitarium Tour. That was at the Ohio Stadium, wasn't it? Where the Buckeyes play. In 2003. We went with a group of work friends. I think we were still...
Eric Roberts.
We were still all at
Best Buy.
We were all still working at Best Buy, and our buddy Eric Roberts and our friend Tara,
Derek
Derek Taylor, Mitch. I don't know if you guys are out there. This was a great time. It was hotter than hell. So hot. In Ohio Stadium, there is no shade anywhere in any point in the stadium. And it's midday, an all-day festival. And our buddy Eric is a ginger. Through and through. Pale, redhead. We all got burnt, but he looked like... He was more red than Rich's jersey tonight. It was awful. But Limp Bizkit. I like Limp Bizkit, and I will always love Limp Bizkit. Fred Durst sang Behind Blue Eyes for like 20 fucking minutes and just like walked around the stadium singing that song. And I feel like we were all ready to like, it was a lot. Cut it off. It was too
bad.
much.
It was
but
rough.
it was a good show.
Good show.
It was a good show. Absolutely. Smashing Pumpkins. Shinedown. They're great. That man can sing. He really can. Kid Rock. Seven Dust. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Skillet. Aaron Lewis, not to be confused with Stain, same man, completely different styles of music. Tool, which that's an experience.
Yes.
Tool is an experience type show. What's his name? Maynard. He's a unique character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of Mice and Men, Bush, Live, Fire from the Gods, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, Attila, Starset, In Flames, this is a festival, Alter Bridge, Coheed and Cambria, they're really good, Seether, they're amazing. Offspring.
They were terrible. The first time I saw them. They were at Ink last year. They redeemed themselves. Great show.
Good. Because like they're so great. Their music is so great.
First time was rough. It was rough.
Yeah. Their song Gone Away. Sometimes like when you're younger and you're listening to songs, you really have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And then you listen to them as an adult and they punch you in the face. So if you want to have a good cry, listen to Gone Away by Offspring. I'm not even kidding. It's an incredible song. Nothing More. Amon Amarth.
Viking metal.
Okay. You need to talk about this Viking metal because there's a whole bunch to it.
So I discovered these guys at a festival. Ironically, Offspring was terrible, so I went to get something to eat and wallow in my sorrows. And I hear this band, pretty intense. I look over and they got like the drum riser's like a pirate ship. And there's guys out there with like swords and shields and they're like fighting it out. And it's like drinking out of a Viking horn. So it was great. Moshing, everybody sits down on a song and they all row together. So at that point I was hooked. It's They don't tour much, but wildly entertaining.
On that note, I have to make a note for something I make sure we don't forget to talk about when we get to it.
Okay.
Just to make sure you don't forget it either. Okay, perfect. All right. Biffy Clyro.
I think they're an English band.
The Pretty Reckless. I've heard of them. I've seen them also.
Yeah.
Primus. Volbeat.
Primus, for those that don't know, I don't know how I feel. It was...
Aren't they like scream metal?
No. He's just weird. He plays bass. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody knew how to react in a crowd, so that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, the crowd can really make or break a concert, too. It really can. Shaman's Harvest. Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. We Came as Romans. Code Orange. Baroness. I Prevail. They're amazing. Baby Metal. The Used. Stone Temple Pilots. I'm Jealous. I have not seen them, and you have seen them.
Phenomenal.
From Ashes to New, New Year's Day, Trivium. They're also good. I have not seen them. Only Rich has. Tech Nine, Asking Alexandria, Black Veil Brides, 3 Days Grace. Yet another one I'm sad I haven't seen because you've seen them and they're amazing. Stone Sour. They're also really good. And Stone Sour is...
Corey Taylor, Slipknot's frontman.
Yes.
That was actually his first band.
Yes.
They're really good.
Yeah, Slipknot's one of those bands, like, I think they're completely misunderstood. Because if you listen to their music, it's deep. It really is. They're strange, and they paint the face, and they scream. But what's that one song that's like, I can never remember the name. It's that slow ass song. Snuff. Snuff by Slipknot. Please go listen to that song. Please listen to that song. It will change the way you think about Slipknot. 100%. Okay. How did I get on that? Oh, Stone Sour. I'm like, where did we go with that? Okay. The Fever 333. Power Trip. 10 Years. Body Count, which that is, who's that?
It's Ice-T.
Ice-T. Tell that story.
They were at a festival, so obviously everybody knows who Ice-T is. So I was with a buddy, Michael Libarger, and we're like, let's get real close to this. So we're like, I don't know, 4 or 5 rows out. They come out. I kind of vaguely have heard of Body Count. I didn't really listen to Body Count. They're like a death metal, like just crazy. So they kick in, and it is a like violent mosh pit that just erupts. So it was like 30 minutes of trying to stay alive and stay upright. Briefly saw Ice-T, so it was cool, but yeah, definitely different than I expected. But
and like Ice-T's like I know who Ice-T, but he also does like SVU on TV, right? Yeah. So like he's that acclaimed actor. He like cool like personality, but
it's wild.
Intense.
Wild.
So his band is Body Count. Greta Van Fleet, which they are very reminiscent of
like some Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
They were actually pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I remember you telling me about them. Machine Gun Kelly. Against his will, basically. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Breaking Benjamin, A Perfect Circle, Garth Brooks. I've seen him twice. Rich has seen him once. We saw him together, and then my sister and I, Katie, we drove to Pittsburgh for a weekend and saw him, and incredible. He puts on an incredible show. Bad Flower. Okay, so
it's a good one.
Yes, Bad Flower. I have to thank my friends for this because I had never heard of them until just a couple years ago. And we got tickets to go, and it was just, House of Blues in Cleveland or something. I think a small venue. And I was in one of those moods where I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't know who they are. I'm not going to know any of their songs. I was just in a like piss ass mood about it. I wasn't being outwardly like that, ruining the night, but I did not want to go. And I'm so glad I did because their music is incredible. And very emotional, very heavy, but it's rock, like it's hard rock, heavy rock. Great band. So I'm so glad I went because some of their songs have really become my favorite songs. So Bad Flower is really cool. AC/DC, we've seen them. Rich has seen them 3 times. I've seen them twice. Yeah, we had really shitty seats one year. We were like off to the side.
Axl Rose actually sang the one time we saw him because Brian Johnson was out, so Axl Rose.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Killing Joke, Wage War, which
on a side note, Killing Joke opened for Tool when we saw them.
Oh.
Awful. My head still hurts.
Yeah.
From that. Thankfully, Tool is good.
You really like Wage War. You buy their merch. You enjoy them quite a bit.
They're good.
Bad Wolves, Avatar, Beartooth, Parkway Drive, Tom Morello, and every time I hear Tom Morello, which Tom Morello is who?
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine, yes.
Audio Slave guitar player.
Yes. I think Lord Voldemort, because his name is, what's his?
Tom Marvallo.
Tom Marvallo, or whatever it is in Harry Potter. So when I hear Tom Morello, I just think Lord Voldemort.
That's what he does now.
He who must not be named. Hailstorm. I'm not a fan. I don't like her. She's too screamy.
Yeah, very talented. So I saw her in Ink again last year and was impressed, actually.
I don't know. She doesn't do it for me.
Whatever.
Ghost. Alice Cooper. That was a good show.
Alice Cooper's a heck of a show.
Yeah. I always think of Wayne's World when I hear anything about Alice Cooper, which that's a great movie. That's a great movie. One. Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Sounds very country. I don't even know who that is.
He's like a bluesy guitar. He opened for not Motley Crue? Maybe Motley Crue.
Yeah.
I don't know. He opened for someone.
Mason Jennings, Motley Crue, The Turtles, Herman's Hermits.
Renaissance Theater,
yes,
baby.
Yes, Mansfield Renaissance Theater representing. Absolutely.
Well, British.
Yes. What's their song? The King Henry, is that their popular one?
I'm Henry VIII, I am Henry VIII.
Yes, okay. That's all I knew. Anthrax, Lamb of God, Slayer, Noel Gallagher, which we'll probably never get Oasis, but we'll talk about that later.
We'll get there.
We're still, yes. Paul McCartney. That's Jester Richards seeing of him with his dad. I didn't get to go to that one, but that's a great show. That was a long one, wasn't it? Doesn't he play for like 4 hours or something crazy?
I think it was 3+ hours.
Yeah. Van Halen. Was it Van Hagar?
No, it was Van Halen. David Lee Roth.
Okay.
That's
it. That's the end of the story.
Well, Van Hagar is all right. I like Van Hagar, but Van Halen is the David Lee Roth is the guy.
Who did I meet that I always talk about and I always get it confused?
Vince Neil, totally different.
Totally different. I've met Vince Neil, like literally in person. I have pictures, but I don't even remember who he's from.
Motley Crue.
Okay, so yes, I have met Vince Neil from Motley Crue.
Well, it's Vince Neil now. He's very large.
Yes. Vince Neil, yes, that's right. Best Buy days, we would go out to California for like, they called them like entertainment holiday kickoff, whatever. The managers got to go out and there were vendor shows and, all the things and, all the gaming console, like PlayStation, all the big venues were there, but there were some celebrities. And I've already forgot his name. Vince Neil. Got to meet him. That's pretty cool.
Left an impression.
It's the only famous person I've really got to take a picture with. So, yeah. Dave Matthews Band, they were amazing. The Who, the Dolly Rots, Incubus, and I'm a huge Incubus fan, like big time. I was so disappointed in their live show. It was just not. It's not what we wanted it to be, and it was a big bummer.
They played their entire album that had just come out, which, new music's good, but it was awful. Awful.
Yeah.
So,
I was disappointed. Big time. Jimmy Eat World, Jade Jackson, Rascal Flatts, Blake Shelton, Cassidy Pope. I think this was a country concert we went to, like a country fest.
You got me to go to a country fest.
I wanted to see Rascal Flatts, so we had to. Blake Shelton was good.
I like more of the rock stuff, so
yeah.
not a lot of country.
I just wanted to see Rascal Flatts. Cassidy Pope, Lee Brice, Tyler Farr, August Burns Red, Mastodon, and we are getting close to the end of the list. Robert Randolph. I don't know who that is, but we've both seen him.
He slide guitar, open for Dave Matthews.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I do remember that. Social Distortion.
Great show.
Yep. Sublime with Rome, which, of course, the lead singer of Sublime has not been alive for quite some time, so this guy's a good equivalent, I would say. Of all the ones you could pick, probably. Theory of a Dead Man, Money Mark, 30 Seconds to Mars, Jared Leto. Don't even get me started. That was a lot of fun. I know that that's not your vibe, but it was great. I was happy. Walk the Moon, Mr. Wives. If you don't listen to Mr. Wives, listen to them. Lead singer's a female. They're legit. I love them. Joywave and Lady Gaga. We saw Lady Gaga, not her traditional like stadium tour or big tour. Rich surprised me when we went to Las Vegas and got us tickets to her jazz show, which was smaller venue in a hotel, hotel ballroom or whatever. And she played her hits and classic jazz like throughout the years, but put jazz spins on her music, piano and all that. Phenomenal. It would blow your mind.
Super talented.
But that's the list.
We're also missing last year.
And that's what I was thinking. We do need to go through that.
We're about 2 years behind.
Yeah, we do need to go through that.
Spirit Box. They didn't get added. That's the new one from last year.
Did I see that?
They were at a festival 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
we're going to have to update that for sure. I would like to see her, like, actual production show where it's, like, her full show with all her songs. So, okay. We're going to go through we're going to need our list for this one here. But we're going to start out with our top 5. And these are our own lists. So what we're going to talk about pertains to us and how we feel. Did you not do that? I gave you the list.
I didn't follow the homework assignment.
Well,
we got this. I got this.
He's good at bullshitting, so we'll get there. All right, Pepsi break. Hold on.
Whiskey Woodford Reserve is the beverage of choice tonight.
Okay.
I'll get a refill here in a minute with either some more Woodford or some.
You got a selection over there.
Yeah, I don't know. A bullet maybe? I don't know.
I'm having Wild Cherry Diet Pepsi, so that's my drink of choice.
Fantastic.
Okay. Do you want to go first with the top 5 or do you want me to go first?
Go ahead. So
Okay.
I gotta think of my top 5.
Okay. I literally broke this down in very clear instructions.
So didn't I say top 5 on the ones you sent me?
Okay.
Said most fun was the first thing I had.
Oh, okay. Anyways. All right. So this is no particular order. These are ones that they're my top 5 for many different reasons, whether I really enjoy their music, their concerts are a lot of fun, or they're just like classics to me. Again, no particular order. 311. I love 311's music so much for so many reasons. It's just a good vibe. They're such like feel good music, but to hear them sing in the mix of everything that they do, I really love. We have seen them quite a few times together. Their shows are a shit ton of fun. Like, you can't help but dance the entire time. Like, it's just a great, great fun. And they play in smaller venues. Traditionally, I feel like, you know, they're not selling out big stadiums. At least not anymore. You know, they're pretty far outside of their prime. But they're just a great time. So I really love 311. Korn, again, for me, I can't have Korn's music loud enough. Like, they are one of the loudest that you can probably go to. But Jonathan Davis he's a musical genius in my opinion. His lyrics, the way he presents himself, if you've ever listened to him speak, and his stage presence and just the artistry behind everything they do, you have to see them sometime in your life. Their music is very intense. Context, lyrics, all the things behind. It's dark. There's some dark things in there, but there's some really good things in there. But I literally shake my ass. I headbang. I dance. I have a great time. I barely have a voice when we're done. But Korn is really, really up there for me, as I would say.
Up there.
Elton John, again, he's just a classic. We've gone with your dad, I think, both times. His dad has been very nice and spoiled us and got us tickets to those, because those tickets are not cheap. And he never has an opener. It's just right into Elton John, and it's several hours of Elton John, and he gives you all of the classics that you want to hear. A lot of deep tracks he'll sneak in there and kind of give you some gems, but I love everything about Elton John and his music and his story, and he's just an incredible performer. So we've been blessed to be able to see him twice now. I think he's done. Did he do a farewell?
Yeah, he did the farewell
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah.
So outside of a charity thing here or there, he's done.
Yeah, so really glad that we got to enjoy him a couple times. Foo Fighters, again, for me, in love with them, their live music as well, their studio albums, I love all of it. Dave Grohl is another, I love his music. And then to round out my top 5 live shows is 21 Pilots. I love their music. I can probably sing every single song word for word on every album they have, and they're from Ohio, which I think is awesome. But their shows, to me, it's a really good time. You've gone to both or one?
Went or twice.
Yeah, so I've seen them twice and two. Yeah, they're really hard to get tickets to, actually, especially when they come to Ohio, because they're from Ohio.
Yeah, so not the first time I got a ticket by myself, because I was going to drive.
Well, first off, Layla and I were just going to go, and then you decided to go last minute.
No, I was going to drive them and go to the casino.
Yes, that's right.
And then I decided to get a ticket, so I was like 2 sections over. Their entire row was empty during the concert. At no point do I get a text message to come sit over there. So I just stood there by myself as a loner, watched this band that I don't really listen to.
There's a reason for that. So although our row was empty the entire time, Layla, God love her, she loves to follow rules. So she was very worried that if Dad came over and sat where he wasn't supposed to, he was going to get kicked out of the show. So
she also follows rules.
Yeah, I like to follow rules also.
Act like you belong.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do. So that's my list. Okay, so what is your... whatever you came up with, your top.
Well,
whatever.
I don't know. I'll just go off the stuff I was sent here. So let's just keep changing it up.
Don't do most. Just stick with one category.
No, it's all good. So top 5. That's a tough one. So if we're going bands, or I'm going to do it bands, not actual specific shows, because there's some shows that stand out. But no particular order except for this one, Metallica.
I think that's obvious.
Very obvious. I've been a Metallica fan since I was like 4.
Yeah.
So seeing them every time, that's the one that gets me pretty fired up. So if they come anywhere close, we traveled out of state to see them, so they put on a heck of a show. So that's by far number one.
No, they really do. And he's gone. I think you've gone to like Detroit one, even when I couldn't go, and stayed the weekend and done like all 3 shows. We've gone out of town for a couple nights. Yeah, so. They're great.
Probably number two. I'll put number two, Elton John.
Mhm.
So my dad is a huge Elton John
Big
fan.
time.
Could probably rattle off every song from first album on and everything to do with it. So obviously, as a kid, listened to a bunch of Elton John because of that. Seen him 3 times, 3 different set lists each time. I mean,
Yeah, he never runs out of things. Like, all his shows could be different because he's got such a deep
so much
catalog.
material,
Yeah.
so talented.
Mhm.
So that's phenomenal show. I gotta put Van Halen in there. Seeing Eddie Van
Wow,
Halen,
I gotta say, that's a little surprising. Continue.
unbelievable concert. So
Okay.
if you're any kind of guitar player, like guitar music, Eddie Van Halen, he's top 5 guitar player in history probably.
Okay, okay. Didn't
so,
see that one coming.
yeah,
Did
so
not
there's
see that one coming.
There's the curveball. That was a show I didn't think I'd get to see. That was cool. Seeing him play Eruption, actual live. I mean, that gives you goosebumps on that, just how good that is. R.I.P. Eddie. So there's that one. I got Pearl Jam in there.
Yes.
That's a band I've listened to basically since they came out. So got to see them. Ironically, I've never seen them in Ohio.
Yeah.
Can't get tickets. They don't tour a lot. And they're
And
hard
it's
to
a
get
lottery
tickets for.
system.
It's a lottery system. So I've seen them 3 times in Wrigley Field. So I'll get to that later on when we talk venues.
But I do want to talk about the times I've gone, we've gone twice to Chicago to see specifically for that. And generally they tour obviously in the summertime. So it always falls around our anniversary for our wedding anniversary. We were married August 21st. So we'll take a little anniversary trip. We'll go to Chicago for the weekend, line it up with some concerts, and it's a great time.
Yep.
So they're another great one. Continue.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
So, look, Beatles, there's endless material there. One of the best songwriters ever, him and Lennon. So, got to see him perform a lot of the Beatles stuff. He did a lot of the solo stuff, so he still sounded great. Played for 3 hours. That's another one. My dad's a huge, both my parents, huge Beatles fans, Paul McCartney fans. I would say that's probably both their favorite Beatles, I think. Lennon might be one of theirs, but I don't know. Don't hold me to it.
I used to always say that Ringo Starr was my favorite just because I liked how animated he was, but as I got older, I realized the songwriting and
Yeah,
whatnot.
so Paul's my dude. I like Wings, all that. So he played all of his stuff. Sounded phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that's definitely there. And then it's a tough one to put down into just one. I'm gonna go a little curveball here. Linkin Park. So I got to see Linkin Park a couple times. First time was at an early Ozfest with John Hartshey. Worked at Circuit City with him. We love some heavy metal music. They were at that point in time just like they hadn't really broken out yet, so most people didn't know who they were.
Yeah. Early.
So this is right as Hybrid Theory was just starting to get popular. I think One Step Closer had just come out. So we got to see them play, and I mean it was unbelievable. Just the reaction to that, and then we got to see them once they had blown up.
Yeah. That was when I got to go.
Yeah, open for Metallica, and I mean they put on a heck of a show.
Yeah.
Chester, that one hurt.
Yeah.
He had some good stuff, and obviously the other one with that I won't get to see. I don't know if that's on the list I didn't get, but Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, one of my favorite musicians. So
Yeah.
I was a day away from seeing him before he passed away.
That was we were what was it?
Rockin' a Range. They were
Rock on
playing
a
Rockin' a
Range.
Range, so
Literally
we were going to see him.
the
show-
weekend before he
It was the night
left this
before.
earth. Yeah.
He played in Detroit, and I wanted to go up there and see him play that. I was going to double up, and then I didn't want to do it, and
Yeah.
so I'm kicking myself because I won't get to see
Yeah.
that.
They did a beautiful tribute to him, and
It
honestly,
was good.
I know I sat there and weeped. You probably did, but
No,
it was
Iron Man.
it was it was awful. Okay, great. So, next question is most fun. I think I may have said this earlier, but 311 for me, as far as fun concerts go, I have the absolute blast at 311, followed very closely by 21 Pilots. For me, just overall fun vibe, just be able to let loose. What about you?
Is this a top 5 list of most fun or just
No,
most
just
fun?
one. We're not doing top 5 for everything.
Well, I'm getting so I apologize. I got set some instructions that were completely different.
Just
so
talk about what. Listen.
This is pretty typical.
Shut up.
Working off a different list here.
Listen. Again with this.
Might as well just.
No. There's no rules. There's no structure. I only did the first top 5 and then like most fun. So do whatever you like. I only have that. So you just tell me what you got, boy. There's no rules here.
Man, all right.
Most fun. Let's hear
Most
it.
Most fun. Outside, Jack Johnson was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Seeing him.
That's a vibe.
He's just a very cool. If you just
And
want
he
to.
rarely tours.
Super rare. If you just want to throw something on and chill and relax, you got a stressful day. It makes me think of just sitting on a beach with my feet kicked up or whatever. Jack Johnson, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, seeing Slash in that was.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
A ton of fun.
That's incredible.
And then I got to throw a little shout out to my concert buddy Rich Police. So we've seen some really cool shows. We find some like
obscure
venues. So I don't remember the name of this little. We saw Dolly Rots, it's a little punk rock band at this. I don't know if probably 20 people in a room that could seat maybe 5 in Columbus. Roomba Cafe, I think, is what it was. It's down in Columbus.
Roomba Cafe, all right.
But super cool. So we've seen some cool things there. So there's a lot of fun little dive concerts with that.
I love that. Sometimes those small dive venues are the absolute best. We saw Angels and Airwaves at that
Newport.
little.
It's not new. It's not little. But...
No, it's not. But it's like they pack you in like sardines. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. Next question. Best crowd. So for me, I have Taylor Swift. Just zip it. And I don't want to hear any hate on it because I like her music. I don't care about your opinions on that or, Travis Kelce or any of that BS. I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah, I think I got conspiracies over here.
No, I just know you hate the Chiefs. So the reason for Taylor Swift for me that was the best crowd is because you can't beat Swifties. Hello. But also with this experience, I saw her at the Reputation tour, so several years. I did not get to go to Eras. I'm so just sad about it, but
you gotta go to the movie theater.
We did. We went to the movie theater. He took me to the movie theater to watch the Eras tour on the big screen.
I was the only.
It's not the same.
Okay, but I was the only non-Swiftie in there.
It doesn't matter. It's not the same. It doesn't replace it, but still worth the money. It was incredible, and Layla went with. The girls were younger. My sister Katie went with. She took her daughters, they're my nieces, very close in age to Layla, and they all get along great. Another girlfriend of mine went with her daughter. So it's just this beautiful experience, and that's when they give you the wristbands that light up and play to the music, and she had all the big theatrics and the snakes and the stage, and this, as far as production goes, she's known for spending the most money and doing the most over the top things. Mind blowing what she was able to do in this venue, and we saw her at Ohio Stadium where the Buckeyes play. But I can still see it in my head, and I'm so glad I have it on video. But panning over to little Layla next to me, clapping her hands and singing along and just smiling, it's such a good memory for me, and I'll take that with me forever. But you can't beat Swifties. There's just so much light and love going around. It's just beautiful. So. Who's your best crowd?
Best crowd? That's tough. There's been a lot. There's been a lot. I'm gonna go best crowd, probably night 1 of Pearl Jam this year at Wrigley Field.
Oh yeah, that was clutch.
So
that lineup,
yeah,
or set list or whatever. Yeah.
Pearl Jam, they play different set lists every night. They play for multiple hours, and every one of their live albums is released. So if you follow Pearl Jam and like live music, they play songs different, jam out. They have set lists that they do rarely, songs they pull out rarely. This was considered one of their top ones. The set list was phenomenal. Crowd was into it. Weather was perfect. Venue was. The Wrigley's a cathedral, so I'll save my Wrigley stuff for later on.
Yeah, no, that's a good crowd. Good crowd. Worst crowd, for me, Aaron Lewis. Again, not to be confused with Staind, because his Staind crowd is amazing. The Aaron Lewis crowd is hillbilly ass, and no hate to anybody, because I love me some hillbilly, rude ass, drunk ass, loud, belligerent. You don't want to be in the same room with them. Times like several thousand. So like you can hardly even enjoy the show because the crowd is so rude and obnoxious. That's how I felt during that show. Like I couldn't wait to get out of there. I could hardly focus on the music. And Aaron Lewis is extremely talented. He's the lead singer of Stained, which is heavy metal. Aaron Lewis, which that's his real name, is country. It's like hard country rock.
Acoustic.
Yeah, acoustic.
Stained.
Beautiful voice, beautiful man, very talented. His Aaron Lewis crowd sucks, and I was severely disappointed. And it was hot as hell in that theater.
So we saw him twice. So we saw him at House of Blues, and I was excited because he plays a lot of Stained stuff solo, acoustic. Actually, my ticket came with a meet and greet, so it was only one. So
yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I had to kind of wait like a loser when he. It was fine. It
Yeah,
worked out.
so like you get to meet him, he shakes your hand, talks to you, get a picture with him, which I was cool. And he's not like a lot of celebrities that are dicks when you meet him.
Yeah,
he was
real
super
nice.
cool. He's working on a line, so obviously I'm like, what am I gonna say to this guy to not sound like a complete jackass? So I'm like, all right, I got some stuff, maybe a couple lyrics here. The guy before me, Aaron Lewis, is a big hunter. Obviously, he's a hillbilly.
He actually hunts in Ohio, doesn't he?
He hunts in Ohio.
Yeah.
So the guy before me, I'm like, I got this. And apparently they hunt at the same property and they know the same people and they have this like super engaging conversation around hunting. And I was like, so he gets to me and I'm like, hi, Stained is cool, yeah. And then that was it. It was horrible.
Hang on. I have a picture of him standing next to Aaron, and I want to find it one of these days because it's so awkward. Like it's so awkward. But I'm so happy you got to meet him.
Yeah.
That is cool.
But cool guy. But the crowd. So we had a good spot, and there was probably 3 people that were before he even played, like drunk, passed out on the floor behind us.
Yeah.
As he's like playing, they're like screaming, like not even anything. It was disappointing.
Yeah, a bad crowd can really kill a vibe. Like you can only listen so much without wanting to punch the guy behind you. It was.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess an asterisk on that. And this is a distant second, but Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, they've been at a couple festivals.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. They're okay, but boy, they get some real like
pieces of work
in their crowd. I'm not a huge fan.
Okay. So my notes say festivals and shows, like just overall festivals and shows. What are some of our
my notes
favorites?
are different, so I'm just gonna go with.
It's on my phone that we're recording on, or I should make you pull it out and look at it.
No.
Okay. Anyways, I have festivals like favorite festivals, just general overall festivals.
Yeah.
I struggled with this one.
Yeah.
So why don't you give me your answer? What's your favorite?
My favorite festivals, or just like.
Yeah.
So the first Ozfest, so it would have been 2000, 2001, somewhere in there. I think I was just 18, maybe 19. So John Harchie, I mentioned him earlier, worked at Circuit City with me. We went and saw him at Polaris. That was like my first like metal festival.
Yeah.
So I guess, you see some things that you can't unsee in your life. And so the crowd was interesting.
Yeah.
But that was a cool one. Got to see the OG Black Sabbath lineup play. I think that might have been one of their last tours. That was a cool one. Festival wise, I've seen Rock and Range Sonic Temple. There's been some years there. The year that Metallica finally played Rock on the Range, the weather sucked that day, so there was a like massive storm that rolled through.
Is that the one I went to?
You didn't
Where
go
we
to that
sat in the bunker for like fucking 3 hours.
That's on the back.
Okay.
Part.
Okay.
Don't jump ahead here.
Ugh, got trauma from
But I
that.
went with buddy Michael Leibarger. So it's a metal stadium, so they always evacuate in a storm. Well, you get your spot in there, and it was a pretty gnarly storm that came through. Nobody moves. We're all standing in a metal building, so they were delayed. But by the time they came out, you talk about best crowds. Everybody was just super amped, ready to go. Great show. But that festival was pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall. So.
Yeah, festivals were hard for me. I think because we used to go to festivals. So when we were younger, we were teenagers. In high school or freshly married, we would go to the Ozfest and all of that down at Polaris, and that's when I could hang. Like to go to a 3-day festival or an all-day festival now, or even like the last 10 years, I'm just not cut out for that shit anymore. I'm just too tired. My rheumatoid kicks my ass. But being young, like he was early 20s, I'm 19, early 20 as well. I can remember going to Ozfest, and it's an experience. The painted titties everywhere and all the crowd, and it's wild. Like, you see some shit.
I figured you'd say Blitzfest. It's the most memorable festival.
Yes, I'm not done.
Okay, I'm just saying you didn't have one.
So, some memories within those is...
Are we jumping ahead?
No, we're not. I'm still talking about festivals. What?
Just looking.
We're running off different notes. So, I can remember, I don't know what year it was in Ozfest. It was one of those. I, for some reason, got sick on the way down. Like, I don't travel well, so I got sick in the car. We pull into the parking lot of the festival. I open the car door, lean out, and vomit everywhere. This was after driving down there. I could be confusing this with another story, but I feel like it's the same one. I needed to throw up on the way down.
It was that one.
I was sick. We had the tickets. Like, what are we going to do? We were going to the show. So I throw up. I needed something to vomit into in the car.
Animal crackers.
All we could find was a box of fucking animal crackers. So I'm puking into the box of animal crackers. So I don't, because we're on 71 in Columbus, which is a nightmare. Puke on the way down. Get in the parking lot. Puke again. And some guy is like, oh, she's ready to party. But for some reason, that last puke did it for me. And I was fine. The rest of the festival, I was absolutely fine. I also think, is that the year we shared the poncho? Okay. So this is such a fond memory for me, and I hope it never leaves my brain. Very early in our relationship, we were not married, right?
Oh.
No, we weren't even married yet, so we were young. And Stained, which is Aaron Lewis, of course, was singing. And what song is it? Because I'm drawing a blank right now. His beautiful song.
Outside?
Yeah, no, the one about love and all that.
It's been a while?
Yeah, it's been a while. His song, It's Been a While. So, It's Been a While by Stained. It was pouring down rain. Rich and I shared a poncho. So he's wearing the poncho. I'm crawled in under the poncho, in the same poncho with him. Like, we're just young teenagers in love at a concert. It's pouring down rain. We're soaked. And Aaron Lewis is singing. And I know he hates the mushy, but...
I'm just saying dry. I'm just trying to say dry.
I will never forget that memory, sharing a poncho. I love that. Okay. That's all I have for that category. Do you have something about your keys and the car wreck? Do you have
going
that in
into
there?
funny. I have two stories.
Okay, just make sure we don't miss that. Okay. So, who do you want to see that we haven't seen?
So, I'm down to about one. So obviously,
man, my list is long of who I want to see.
Well, there's some others. I couldn't think of it. I had a different list,
okay.
But obviously anything Chris Cornell, Audio Slave, Soundgarden. I'm never gonna see that. Mm-hmm. That was there. Nirvana. So I'd love to get a time machine.
Yeah.
Go back though, see some of these bands. But for me, the white whale that's still out there is Oasis.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Oasis fan.
That's
Noel Gallagher, seen him. So they're playing. They reunited. For those that don't follow Oasis, the two brothers hate each other. They haven't talked for years. They
talk shit to each other on Twitter, but they don't actually communicate. It's strange.
Yeah, it's all good. So, but they got back together. So they're doing a big stadium tour. Won the lottery to get tickets, and Ticketmaster. There's a separate podcast for that. My feelings.
If you don't use Ticketmaster or ever had to, it's fucking bullshit. It's a racket. It's
site crash. So I'm like 70,000 bots are in there. The bots I can't stand it. So they decided to get tickets. They're playing in Chicago. That's really the closest venue. It's in August this year. I'm probably gonna just bite the bullet and get tickets anyways, because the chances of them not killing each other and staying together long term. But
yeah.
Oasis there. There's some other smaller bands, but that's really kind of the main one.
I agree with that. I have a couple. These aren't like, oh my gosh, I have to see them, but they're just like, I really want to see these artists. Billie Eilish, Post Malone, Adele, which I love her, but I won't pay that price. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pay that ticket price. To me, that's asinine. Like, she outranks probably like Elton John ticket prices or some of these greats, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just can't. Eminem. Oasis.
Oh, yeah. Eminem.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Eminem. Oasis is on mine. Kings of Leon, I really enjoy them. That'd be another one where I think you'd kind of be like, man, you'd go. But I really like them. Hozier, I want to see. I don't know if Hozier. I feel like it's Hozier.
Hozier.
I love his voice. I want to see him. And I really would like to see Coldplay. I like Coldplay's music.
That.
Oh, I thought you said you've seen them.
No, I'd like to see that. Yeah. I'd see that.
Gotcha. I don't know why this just came to my head. We're not using microphones again, obviously, so I hope it's working out. My shit I need to get something different. So we're just rolling with it tonight, but that just popped in my head. I should probably say that, but okay. Favorite venues. Did we talk about that?
We didn't get funny stories. You had funny stories under it.
Oh, yeah. So funny stories.
Oh, okay. I had two.
Yes.
Rock and Range, Sonic Temple, same festival. This is on the hated one. The year that we went, Chris Cornell died. They had a rain delay. We were in this like,
oh my God,
building, just concrete floors for like 3 hours, just sitting on this.
Yeah.
Because of a storm. That sucked.
That was miserable.
I think it was either that year or the next year. Went with Michael Leibarger and his wife. So they had another one. So they made you evacuate the venue. It's down.
I feel like it always fucking storms during this.
It's a
concert
terrible.
too.
They do it in May, so it's Ohio. It's May. But the old Crew Stadium, they made everybody go to their cars, and you can't get out. Not gonna act like you belong, kind of thing.
Oh, I know. Okay.
So we obviously there's people there and there's a need. They're thirsty. They need beer. So we find a side exit out and go down to a gas station and got all of our cash and bought, I don't know, 20 cases of beer and get back, talk our way back in, and we drive around the parking lot selling beer for a lot more. So we are, beer is selling like crazy. People are tipping us for our overpriced beer, which is even better. And then there's people saying, oh man, I wish you guys had some ice and stuff. So we start taking the orders and keeping track, sell out, sneak back out, go down and buy the rest of everything, buy a bunch of bags of ice, come back and start selling that. I don't know what it was. It was like maybe $600 or $1,000 each. We cleared and illegally selling beer in the parking lot.
Yeah. He tells me this, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? So many rules and laws that were broken that you could have been arrested on, like. My personality was just like, and I was still to this day, I'm like, the only reason you guys sold as much as you did is because you had beautiful Candace with you, and she probably looked gorgeous, and they wanted to buy beer off a hot chick.
She was driving the vehicle.
She was.
And
yeah.
I
still can't believe you guys did that.
We got tipped. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Second one was... saw Slayer with Jason Brereton, I think a couple other guys from Verizon at Blossom on their farewell tour. I met them up there. So if you've been to Blossom, we'll talk about that in the venues. I park, I go in to meet them. As soon as I walk in, obviously, $15 beers sounds good. So I wear shorts that have apparently not the deep pockets. So I reach in to get my cash to buy my beer. I buy my beer. Join this concert. I don't know, probably 3/4 of the way through Slayer. For whatever reason, I'm feeling my pockets just for, I don't know, OCD or something, and I can't find my keys. They're not around there. So I had dropped my keys at Blossom.
In a sea of however many thousand people at a huge
20,000
outdoor venue. Like, there's so much square
people
footage
there.
to walk
So
on.
I was like, well, that's cool. Because I'm not going to call her at 11 o'clock at night to come get me. So I was planning on just sleeping it out on the hood of the car and figuring
out in the field.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna walk up to Lost and Found and just see what my options are here. So sneak out, walk up to Lost and Found. I'm like, hi, I dropped my keys. The lady's like, huh, cool, that's awesome. I had an Ohio State key, so I was like, look, it has an Ohio State key on it. She's like, does it have a key fob? I'm like, yes. Someone had turned in the damn keys. So I was like, this is good. Life is good. We're all good. So get back down, see the end of the show. Show's great. So then I'm like, Swenson's, because there's time. There's a Swenson's on the way by. They close at like 11:30 or something, 12. If you haven't had Swenson's, it's one of the best burgers you'll ever have. So I'm like, I'm getting Swenson's. This is great. I back out, and drunk guy backs directly into me. So there's a little fender bender in the parking lot. So Karma came back and got me for losing the keys. So I'm trying to quickly exchange insurance information. By the time I got to Swenson's, it was right at close. I think I dented, the whole side of the car's dented. I'm probably looked pissed off and whatever. They served me. I tipped the guy well, but yeah, that was a good night.
First off, he did call me to tell me that he lost his keys after debating on whether or not he was going to call me. And I had been on my porch, probably in my jammies, partaking in some flour. The kid's home with me. She's in bed. And I'm like, fucking figure it out. Because if you've ever been to Blossom, there's no easy, or not, yeah, Blossom. No easy in, no easy out. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's a fucking traffic nightmare. I literally was just like, don't call me. Figure it out. So, luckily he did, because I wasn't coming to get his ass. He was going to, like I said, sleep on the hood of his car. But do you have least favorite venues? Because I do. I may have been spitballing on my list as I was making it.
Oh, no, that wasn't on the list. Matter of fact, I'm going to pour
No.
There's not a least favorite. Go ahead, because I'll wing it. She's acknowledging.
Well, maybe I don't. I have favorite venues. I read that wrong. Look, favorite venues.
Whatever,
Okay.
It's your list that
Okay.
you're making up.
Favorite venues. I really enjoyed Polaris Amphitheater. It's got torn down. It's Polaris Parkway now in Columbus. It's a huge shopping. I think Top Golf is there.
It's IKEA.
IKEA and Top Golf and all that. It was a great venue. It was outdoor. It had the big overhang. It's kind of similar to Blossom a little bit, but as much as Blossom is a fucking nightmare getting in and out of, I love seeing shows there. The vibe, the way it's set up, the lighting, the way everything sounds, I really enjoy Blossom, but it is a logistical nightmare. We're at the stage in our life that we'll pay for that VIP parking, which it's only, I think, $50 or $100. Well worth it. You get closer, you're just right there, and you're out of there quick. So I just like it overall. I think probably for the acoustics and the vibe and everything. Lawn seats are great too, but I like to sit down. We've even been treated to VIP there as well from your dad, so that's been pretty nice. So what's your favorite for you?
I got 3.
Okay. All
I
right.
got 3 on here. So obviously Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great venue. Sound is good, even on the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Good sound, but it's a whole vibe. It's kind of in it's in the forest. It's in the woods.
Is. Yeah.
So it's cool. I have a little dive. Some may know it. Beachland Ballroom, east side of Cleveland. So concert buddy Rich Police. So we saw Nick Lowe there. Super talented. Not a lot of people know. Yeah, he's popular, but kind of under the radar a little bit. But saw him there. It's a cool venue. It's just it's a hole in the wall, but cool vibe to that. And then Wrigley Field. It's on a side note. Try to see all the baseball stadiums. So Wrigley Field has always been like a cathedral in my eyes on that. So baseball side was good, but seen Pearl Jam there 3 times. The venue is spectacular. Wrigleyville's great. Just the vibe. It's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
It's literally in the middle of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So Wrigley.
I am going to add that to my list too. I didn't even think about that, but it really is. And like the way the stadium's like physically designed is very cool. It's not like most American ballparks. I feel like everything is so like big and conglomerated, and it's huge. Don't get me wrong, but it's just such a different feel.
Yeah.
And it's a great show. Great show. Oh, I have just kind of like, this isn't in your category, but I want to tell this story. And you can just sit there quietly and listen if you'd like, because this is the Foo Fighters story. He knows where I'm going with this. But any ladies out there that are listening, you'll appreciate the honesty.
Just go ahead and see my way out of this.
Awkward turtlet, but this is what you get. So if you feel like you're not a TMI person or a little squeamish, or if you don't like hearing about the human body and things like that, then I suggest you fast forward. But there's no such thing as TMI with me. I'll literally talk about anything. So this is kind of a moment. This is traumatic for me, and I'm not even joking when I say traumatic. So we are going to see Foo Fighters. It is an incredible, just everything is planned out. Layla was younger. She was going to summer camp for the week, 4-H camp. We drop her off at 4-H camp. We meet your dad in Medina. He rents a limo for us. It's this whole big thing. So, little backstory about me and basically every woman in my family. We have horrendous periods. I'm talking awful, like hysterectomies, ablations, everywhere. Again, you can just sit there quietly. So I'm on my period at this show. And when I say heavy periods, I say heavy periods, like detrimental to my life. So that's been taken care of. I've had an ablation. That's a procedure, so you don't have to deal with it. Anyways, this period is so horrendous that I bleed through on the way up to basically from leaving Medina, Ohio to Blossom, which is, how far is that? That's not that far.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. And I'm the kind of girl that can wear like a Super Plus tampon and a huge ass maxi pad and have to change it within like 2 hours. That's not normal. For anyone that knows, that is not normal. So we get out of the limo and I'm like, motherfucker, you know when you're bleeding through. So we're with, it's Rich, his dad and his stepmom, and
brother-in-law, stepbrother.
Was he there?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Okay. And I'm like, babe, what the fuck? I'm at this point, we're not even in the gate yet. I'm crying. I'm upset. I'm not telling anyone as far as like his dad and his side of the family what's going on. I'm visibly upset. So we're just like, go ahead. We'll get in. I needed to do whatever. So I'm like, walk behind me super close. Cause I'm in a fucking tank top. It's summertime and shorts and like no option. So as I'm walking, gravity, you know what's happening. More and more is happening. And it's literally like running down the center of my jeans. There's no hiding it. So I'm losing my mind. It's ruined my night. I go into the bathroom and I do the best I can with what I have, asking other females for supplies, things of that nature, but the damage is done. So, I know, you can be awkward and sit there quietly. I go into the woods, basically. At this point, I said, go fucking figure it out. Find me something to put on. So he gets in the merch line, which is like what felt like hours.
It's like Beetlejuice.
It was long. It was a long
like number
line.
10,000.
It was a long line. It was Foo Fighters, and their shit's expensive. I'm like, just buy me a fucking hoodie. Get me something that I can do. So I'm literally like off in the grass, in the woods, just sitting, hiding, visibly upset, crying, because everything is just awful. I call my friend Jen, God love her, because she's one of my friends that I can just release to and just bawl to her about it and tell her what's going on, and she consoles me. He finds me, and this is like, it's hard to communicate. Cell signal sucks when you're out there, so he doesn't know where I am. He buys me a hoodie. I wrap it around my waist. I go into the bathroom and take off like my under hoodie or my under tank top, something like this. And I tuck it like down my front. So I have like a skirt flap over my jeans so you can't see the front, mess, a hoodie around the waist. And I try to enjoy the show. So we had a good time, I think eventually, but that was awful.
That hoodie cost more than some cars I bought. So.
Yeah, it was expensive, but that's a little PTSD, a little trauma and drama with that. So,
I guess there. Okay.
Yeah. Good times. All right, so most influential, I think, is what I have as the last question. Is that what you have?
Whatever you told me.
Okay, what's your most influential? That light just went out. I was like, what just changed?
Concert or band? Or...
Whatever you want. What artist? It could be whatever there's no rules.
I mean, there's probably two on that. Obviously, go back Metallica. So I was an only child, so that was usually my escape band that I would listen to. So I had an obsession with them, and then Elton John.
Yeah.
Concert wise, and just like listening to. So a lot of memories. Growing up listening to Elton John, and he's got some really cool stuff. So that's probably my two influential.
So mine is kind of a newer, and this may be, I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be shocking, but his name is Matt Mason, and the reason he's so influential to me, he's a newer artist. He's kind of up and coming, but several years ago when my depression was like running my life, something about his music. I had this man on repeat 24/7. And it really kind of helped me get through a lot of really dark times in my life. And again, he tours, he comes to real small venues. He came to like Cincinnati, and I had bought 2 tickets. Something came up and Rich could not go. And I drove down to Cincinnati by myself. I stayed the night. I went to his concert by myself, which I think that's the first time I've ever gone to a concert by myself. And I had the best time because it was kind of cathartic to me to see him and his music and be part of that experience because he helped so much for me. And he's a newer up and coming artist, but if you can listen to Matt Mason, his shit is legit. He's got a great tone, great voice, but he's very influential to me because he really kind of helped me through quite a bit. So that is the list. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Great.
Good.
So thank you for joining us tonight. Not sure when we'll be back, but we'll get back again. And again, if you want to come on the Loud Reset podcast and bullshit and talk and, just do whatever, let me know. And thanks for listening and have a wonderful night. Thanks.